What does smoked salmon, saunas, and cybersecurity have in common? Come travel north with us to find out.
Secure Ninja.
Hi, I'm Alicia Webb with SecureNinjaTV. Was I too cryptic for you? Because the answer is Finland! We have traveled all the way to Oulu, Finland to attend Global Forum 2015. We've been chatting with international thought leaders and policymakers about the evolution of digital society. Here are some highlights.
I wish to welcome you all in Oulu, the capital of the northern Scandinavia, and at the Global Forum 2015. At the forum you will be touching about several key issues, new innovation strategies, new approaches to healthcare, Internet of Things, intelligent infra, smarter regulations, cybersecurity, ICT in the Arctic perspective, and so on.
There is sometimes the accessibility that it's more than fact.
I'm now speaking with Dr. Sylvain Topperkoff, and she is the founder and organizer of the Global Forum. Dr. Sylvain, tell us about the Global Forum and what it's all about.
Alors, the Global Forum is about the future of IT. It means what's going on with the IT situation, how we are developing cities, how we are developing healthcare. And the idea of the Global Forum is like a puzzle, is to put together all the ingredients of the digital society and to try to understand how everything fits with the other things.
I'm talking with Suvi. She is the special envoy for the Broadband Commission. And tell us, what were you speaking about here today?
I was talking about how vital it is to understand how important the broadband is for all countries, all nations, especially for emerging countries where at this moment there is still a lot of lack of accessibility and affordability of broadband access.
Yesterday I spoke about the Internet of Things, and I was mentioning that probably I was the first one to mention the phrase some years ago, probably 4 or 5 years ago in the same forum. But the point that I wanted to make yesterday is that so many people are working on the IoT that maybe time has come when we need to work together, to reflect together on what kind of IoT we would like to have.
I was trying to explain the business that we are developing, which is connecting the objects and connecting, for example, cars. So really how also to approach this from a policy standpoint, and what are the hurdles that can be created from the policy standpoint to development of the business.
5G is often thought of as being a major technological breakthrough to revolutionize future digital societies. My talk was about that business models related probably need more drastic changes than the technologies themselves.
All right, and what are some of the main changes that are going to come about because of the 5G?
Well, one thing that is happening that is tangible for us as end users is that the base stations start to look more and more like Wi-Fi access points. Form factor is the same, and the density of those access points is the same as in Wi-Fi access points in the future. And so lots of development will happen indoors, and that itself will pose lots of challenges for operators to do that in practice.
I'm now speaking with Don Davidson. He's from the Office of the United States DoD CIO. And tell us, Don, what were you speaking about here today?
So I talked about the supply chain risk management and how we source more and more commercial products into our enterprises all the time. The topic of my presentation was your technology solution may be my security problem. So the White House stood up the Comprehensive National Cybersecurity Initiative several years ago. One component of that was supply chain risk management. And supply chain management has been around for a long time. They look at resiliency, do I have enough nodes to source the parts, et cetera. They look at security of the supply chain when they deliver the product. We have a new emphasis on product integrity, so hardware assurance, software assurance, and how do we do commercially acceptable global sourcing standards? How do we get industry to work with us to elevate the standards so I have more trust and confidence in the quality of those products as I build them into my enterprise?
I'm speaking with Anja Wyden. She is the State Chancellor of Geneva. And what were you speaking about here today, Global Forum?
So I had the pleasure to be at the Global Forum, and I was trying to say that we went in a couple of years from secrecy, which was a sign of security, to openness and open source as a very important element of security. And so I tried to show it with the example of e-voting, which the secrecy of votes is very important. It's very important that governments can ensure that you can't rely the citizen to his vote. But on the other hand, the e-voting system itself has to be open, has to be transparent. As a ballot box is transparent, an e-ballot box has to be even more transparent. So it's very important for the security and for the system itself.
Right. And how does its transparency help with the security?
Because no system in the world, neither a system of Apple or Microsoft, can be 100% sure without any possibility or risk to hack it. And so the only thing you can do is to work with these hacking communities, to work with the open source militants, to work with academies, and so that people think and know that it's their own system. Right. If it's your system, you won't get and hack it. So it's kind of, we open the doors so hackers won't come into the window and broke my window.
Right.
Well, I was talking about software vulnerabilities, and one of my topics was that the software that's being deployed today has a lot of known vulnerabilities in it, and software companies are simply not held liable for security issues. And really one of my topics that I'm promoting is the notion of what I call a cybersecurity bill of rights, where people that are consuming software should be aware of what the makeup of the software is and what are the known vulnerabilities, so they can make a proper risk-based decision about whether or not they want to use the software in their organizations.
So if we think about cyber as, yes, a system that's predicated upon technology, computers connected together wirelessly and globally pervasive and all the rest of it, that's true, but that's not the totality of the story. Cyber's about a set of relationships between humans and between technology and technology, a set of relationships that were sketched out in the middle part of the 20th century by Norbert Wiener, amongst others, who conceived of a cyber system as one in which machines and humans operate symbiotically, with some kind of functional equivalence. So machines and humans do different things in the system, but what they do is equally important. So, early decades of the 21st century were already starting to witness these really quite profound transformations to the fabric of our societies, to the way that we produce things, to the things that we produce, not merely to the way that we communicate, but also the identities that we assume and the nature of these identities in relation to permanence and so on and so forth. So what I wanted to do was to try and focus people's minds on, okay, so we've got a whole bunch of technological stuff, and we focused on privacy, strength of mechanism of confidentiality and all the rest of it. We haven't focused on the nature of identity and the relationship between, say, the citizen and the state in a cyber context. We haven't looked at the social dimensions of emerging democracies. We haven't looked at the way in which the deployment of cyber e-voting might have an impact on the legitimacy of the democratic franchise.
The challenge in digitalization is not the technology, but it's the mindsets and operating models of countries and companies. They are used to functioning in the old industrial era, and in digital era one needs to function very differently and create value very differently. Namely, you have to much more kind of co-create services with people rather than top-down producing goods and products for the masses.
There were so many topics being discussed here over the last 2 days that we were only able to scratch the surface. If you'd like to know more about the Global Forum, just click this link or use the one in the description below. I'm Alicia Webb. Thanks for watching. Nakamin!
SecureNinjaTV is brought to you by SecureNinja.com, a world leader in cybersecurity training and certification. Our master instructors will help build you into a highly skilled and marketable security professional. Secure Ninja, forging cybersecurity experts.